Hello and welcome to World Games from Epyx, another game that belongs in the games series Surprise, but this time around we are not tied to any established event. This game goes around the world where you get to try different events. Some of them you would probably have some familiarity with and others you won't. This is a travelogue option you can enable or disable as you see fit, which gives you a description of the events in question. First and foremost, we have weightlifting, where you do two weightlift types, and it is down to knowing exact timing, how long you need to wait between each stages of the different lifts, and of course knowing when you have to execute the movements in the joystick in order to successfully complete the lifts. The initial animation when you do the lifts you can safely skip, but especially when you are doing the lift, you have to be very aware of the breathing, because it's not just for the looks of it. It is important, a very important aspect of weightlifting. Clean and jerk, which is a slightly more advanced weightlifting style. Again, with the weight we are carrying at the moment, if you try to go up before the second breath in the first stage, you will drop the weights. Having tried a bit of weightlifting myself, and not these kind of weights, but having tried to do clean and jerk myself, I can appreciate how important breathing is, because of course you inhale to tighten up your body to support the weight as you hold it. So it is not just a gimmick in the game, it is definitely a thing you have to be aware of. Onwards, barrel jumping, and very interesting little sport, which involves skating on ice and jump over barrels. Surprise, that is the purpose of the event. You initially select how many barrels you want to try and jump, and then you start running up towards the barrels. And again, it's a rhythmic movement. You have to make sure that you move your skater's legs fully and try to increase the speed by as much as you can, and then once you clear the barrels, pull down the joystick to make a safe landing. Now, I've cleared 16 before, and I intended to try for 16, but I decided to just go for 14. But that flag that shows up just before the barrels is an indication of when you should probably try your jump. And I actually went for 16. Oh, bad memory. Anyway, I was too late on the two remaining jumps, so I will. Cliff diving. An event that is very similar in certain ways to platform diving, but of course, being cliff diving, there's an awful lot more risk involved to your personal safety, because you are jumping out from a cliff side, and of course, if you hit that cliff side, we're going to incur severe injury. The aim is to jump and maintain the swan style as much or as long as you can, then straighten out and do a quick turn as you hit the water in order to resurface quickly. You are rated for how long you hold the swan style and how close you are to the cliff when you dive into the water, and how quickly you do the underwater turn. In shows though the scoring can feel a bit random because you can do two dives which are virtually identical, and one can give you 80 points and another can give you 60. There's a lot of subtleties which are hidden. I'm not saying that the game is cheating in any way, shape, or form. I'm just saying that it can feel like you did something very, very good and then you are not rewarded for it. Next up, slalom skiing, which is it is what it says. You are doing slalom skiing and downhill, and of course in slalom you have to navigate different gates, and any two same colored flags will mark the gate. So as you can see, you have two blue flags here down the bottom of the screen, which is one gate, but also when they are one after each other, not just side by side, that also qualify as a gate. As you can see, we have a red gate there, a blue gate, and this is a red gate because there's two red flags. This is a blue gate because there's two blue flags. And in all honesty, I think this, as a minigame, it's got far, far, far too many gates you have to navigate. The controls are a bit heavy, and all in all, I find this to be, if you can get it right, it can be quite enjoyable, but it just feels like it's virtually impossible to do a clean run, which gets a bit frustrating after a while. So, skipping the second one and going on to log rolling. Now we're getting into some of the events which are definitely sports in certain countries. So this would be Canada, I assume. And the aim of this game is to have two guys running back and forth on a log, trying to get the other one to go into the water. You are supposed to move the joystick from side to side in a rhythmic nature, and then you can press the fire button to make the log roll the other way, while being aware of your own balance and your opponent's balance, and try to catch them off balance in order to send them flying into the water. Having the instructions, I have never been able to get the full meaning of this event, and I find it to be odd, to say the least. It's probably very exciting, and it's probably very fun, and it's probably a very serious sport even, but as a game, I think, especially against the computer, which hardly makes any mistakes, it's a bit bleh. War games as a whole, I can talk a bit about now when we got a bit of downtime. Ha! It has events which are a bit odd compared to what you would expect from normal sports. Not odd as in strange, but odd as in not commonly shown in games, and especially not in a multi-event game like this. Next up, bull riding, by the way. You ride a bull and try to prevent it from kicking you off by countering its moves. You have 5 different bulls to choose from, and their names should indicate how much challenge they will prove to be. Ferdinand, of course, is such a darling name, so Ferdinand is probably rather gentle. Anyway, as I was saying, when it comes to war games, there's 1 or 2 events in this game which is a bit odd, and yeah, I don't know what to feel about them, but I have to admit that overall I actually think, for some bizarre reason, that this is the game in the game series that I find overall most enjoyable. There's something, I don't know, there's a certain familiarity. I don't know whether it's because I used to play this game quite a bit with my brother, and it's memories that a factor in that. But just giving Earthquake a go, and Earthquake didn't like me, by the way. But I do find old games to have some sort of endearing quality to it, despite the fact that the events can be a bit wonky and the controls of the different events can be a bit stiff. Cabotos. The Scotsman found it interesting to grab a telephone pole and try to throw it. By the way, I have to preface this by saying I absolutely suck at this event because I just don't have the patience, because you are trying to balance the pole and at the same time build up speed, and then when you have built up sufficient speed, you need to hold down the fire button in order to toss the cable. And I just do not have the patience for that. So this event is going to be me sucking, which I do apologize for, but it is what it is. I could have retried and retried and retried and retried and retried. But as I said, I'm here to showcase the games, not showcase my epic ability to play them. It's definitely a manly event, and only big strong guys need to apply. I don't know whether there's an event of this kind for female competitors. I wouldn't be surprised, and well, I don't mind either way. If women want to walk around with telephone poles and try to throw them, then by all means, let them. It's not a telephone pole, I shouldn't be disrespectful. It's a cable, which is another word for telephone pole. Regardless, we are coming up to the last event of War Games, which is sumo wrestling. And sumo wrestlers, their aim is to get their opponent out of the ring, or get them to touch the floor with anything but the soles of their feet. But playing against the computer is not very interesting, because the computer will come charging at you like an out-of-control bulldozer. It is not very fun to play against the computer. If you don't grab hold of the computer and throw it over your shoulder virtually immediately, you get pushed out of the ring very, very quickly. A bit of an oversight, I think. Yeah. Anyway, as I've mentioned earlier, I think World Games is possibly my favorite in the game series. Some of the events are very interesting, some of them are not so much, but overall, there's something, I don't know, almost, I don't know, homely about this game. So, on that note, thanks for watching, take care, see you next time, bye bye for now.